I stopped saving money. When I first said that out loud, people thought I'd lost it. Isn't saving money the most basic personal finance advice of all time? For years, I did exactly that. I stashed cash in a savings account and felt virtuous watching the number creep up. But then I realized something uncomfortable. The money was creeping backward in real life. Prices rose, my goals stayed far away, and the cash I was saving wasn't making me freer. So I stopped, at least in the way most people mean it. I didn't stop preparing. I stopped hoarding. I stopped treating a savings account as the final destination and started using it as a short-term staging area. I built a floor of safety, and then I moved everything above that floor into things that could actually move me forward, paying off expensive debt, acquiring assets, upgrading income, and buying time. That shift changed everything: my stress level, my trajectory, and my relationship with money. Here's exactly what I learned. What I thought saving would do, and what it really did. I thought saving would make me feel secure, adult, and on track, but I was confusing motion with progress. While my bank balance climbed, inflation quietly nibbled away at purchasing power. Interest in the account was tiny, taxes were real, and the opportunity cost was massive. I had cash sitting still while my goals required capital that worked. Worse, the growing number tricked me into believing I was doing enough, so I delayed the moves that actually build wealth. The reframe. Savings is a verb with a destination, not a lifestyle. I stopped saving for the sake of saving and started saving for specific jobs. Cash got assignments and deadlines. It lived in buckets: an emergency buffer for bad days, sinking funds for predictable expenses, and an opportunity fund for good days. Every euro above those caps had to leave the nest and start working, invested into broad, low-cost funds, used to kill high-interest debt, or deployed into skills and projects that raised my income. Savings became a transit hub, not a storage unit. Lesson 1. Build a floor, then stop hoarding above it. True security came when I decided how much cash was enough. I calculated my essential monthly burn, housing, utilities, groceries, transport, insurance, and multiplied it by a target runway. 1 month was a start. 3 months felt steady. 6 months felt like oxygen. I parked that amount in a boring, high-yield savings account and called it my floor. Below the floor is off-limits except for real emergencies. Above the floor is fuel. I don't hoard it, I allocate it. Lesson 2. Paying off high-interest debt beats saving every time. I thought a big savings balance made me responsible. Meanwhile, interest on credit cards was quietly eating that balance from the other side. Paying down expensive debt produced a guaranteed, risk-free return far higher than any savings account. Once I attacked the highest interest balance first, while keeping others current, my cash flow unlocked. Each debt that died freed a monthly payment I could redirect toward investments. Security didn't come from a bigger pile of cash. It came from fewer holes in the bucket. Lesson 3. Automation turned intentions into outcomes. Willpower leaked. Automation didn't. I set direct deposit splits so money jumped to the right places on payday. A slice to my emergency opportunity buckets until full, a slice to investments, and the rest into bills and guilt-free spending. The order mattered. Pay myself first, then life. Once the flows were automated, saving and investing happened even on busy, messy months. Systems did what motivation wouldn't. Lesson 4. Inflation taught me to own, not just hold. Cash is comfort, but comfort has a cost. Prices drift upward. To stay ahead, I needed to own productive things. Not complicated bets, just boring, diversified slices of the global economy via low-fee index funds, and small, understandable assets that produced cash flow. My savings account stopped being the destination and became the waiting room before money went to work. Lesson 6. Liquidity barbell, cash on one end, growth on the other. Middle ground funds and maybe I'll use it cash piles where my progress went to die. I adopted a barbell. On one end, a solid cash buffer for shocks and near-term plans. On the other, long-term growth assets. Very little in the mushy middle. This reduced decision fatigue and cash drag while keeping me resilient. Lesson 7. Saving money into skills was the highest ROI move. Courses, certifications, books, tools, mentorship, these weren't expensive, they were accelerators. A $400 skill that reliably adds $4,000 a year to my earning power crushes any savings account. I began viewing part of my savings as R&D, deliberately buying competence that paid me back for years. Lesson 8. Opportunity Fund. Be ready to say yes when it counts. Good deals punish the unprepared. I carved out a small opportunity fund, still cash but earmarked to act fast. A discounted course I knew I'd complete and monetize, a used car bought below market, a first month's rent to move somewhere that slashed my burn, seed money for a small side project. Having liquid, purposeful cash turned me from spectator to participant. Lesson 10. Risk management made me bolder, not timid. Insurance felt boring until I saw what it bought. Permission to take smart risk. Health, disability, liability, and simple term life where needed meant one bad event wouldn't erase years of progress. With downside protected and a cash floor under me, I could invest consistently without white-knuckling every headline. Lesson 10. Taxes and fees matter more than you think. Tiny percentages compound too. I moved long-term investing to low-fee vehicles and used tax-advantaged accounts where available. I simplified to avoid advice that charged a premium for complexity. Keeping costs low and records clean put quiet tailwinds behind every dollar that left my savings account for the market. How I actually run my money, the flow. Payday is a system, not a surprise. Money lands, automatically. Floor first, top up the emergency opportunity buckets if they dipped. Invest next, contribution to broad, low-cost index funds the same day. Obligations, bills autopay from a dedicated checking account. Sinking funds, small transfers for known future costs, car service, annual premiums, travel. Joy money, a modest, guilt-free amount I must spend on living well, because systems that feel like punishment don't last. Anything left above my cash caps gets swept to investments or to a current high ROI skill or business project. My savings account is almost always one of two things, at the floor or briefly full on its way out the door. Case study, the two savers. Saver A hoards cash. 10,000 becomes 12 in a couple of years, but life gets more expensive, and a surprise car repair wipes out half the progress. Saver B builds a floor, attacks debt, and automates investing. When the same repair hits, B dips the emergency fund, then refills it automatically, and keeps investments on schedule. 5 years later, A has a larger savings account, but no assets and chronic anxiety. B has a modest cash cushion, a shrinking debt balance, and a growing portfolio that doesn't need babysitting. B stopped saving in the old sense and got rich slowly on purpose. What didn't change, and never should? I didn't stop saving for near-term life. I still save for taxes, annual bills, travel, and short-run goals in cash. I still keep a healthy emergency fund. What changed is that I stopped pretending a big number in savings alone equals progress. Cash is a tool, safety is a tool, ownership is the goal. How you can copy this without breaking your life? Start by naming your numbers. What's your essential monthly cost? Pick a cash floor that helps you sleep, maybe 1 month to start, then 3. Park that in a separate high-yield account. Next, identify your highest interest debt and attack it while keeping everything else current. Set one automatic investment, tiny if needed, weekly or on payday, into a broad, low-fee fund. Create labeled sinking funds for predictable costs so you stop rating investments for boring bills. Finally, add a small opportunity fund so you can say yes when it matters. Run this for 90 days and watch how different money feels. The biggest surprise? Calm showed up before wealth did. I expected more money to make me calm. It turned out that clarity made me calm. Knowing my floor, automating my future, and giving every dollar a job removed the constant negotiation in my head. That calm made better decisions. Better decisions made more money. The cycle reversed, from anxious hoarding to confident building. I stopped saving money was never about recklessness. It was about ending the habit of stockpiling cash as proof of responsibility and replacing it with a plan that actually buys freedom. Build your floor, assign your cash, invest automatically, pay off expensive debt, fund skills and opportunities, protect the downside, keep fees low. Let your savings account be a launchpad, not a museum for money you're too scared to use. The goal isn't to stare at a number. The goal is to build a life that number makes possible.